I'd like to welcome everyone back to the Roofing Mastermind podcast. I'm Eli King. I'm everyone's favorite roofing contractor, and today is Thanksgiving Day 2024. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about our goals at the roofing broker moving forward for the 2025 year. And I really want to talk about trusting the process. And when I talk about trusting the process, I specifically mean the process that we've set up, the systems that we put into place, and the practices that we do every day while we're here live in Denver, Colorado on the phones. So I want to back up a little bit and I would like to talk a little bit about how we started the company, the roofing broker, and how it came about. Today is Thanksgiving, and it's definitely a day to have gratitude, to show what you're grateful for. And what I'm truly, truly grateful for is the power of prayer and the ability to hear a word from God, from my higher power, that was able to show me a path to success. And so I had worked for a roofing company previously in Denver, Colorado, and I'm not going to mention any names, but the moral of the story was, as many of you guys have went through, roofing contractors, salespeople, people in production, crews, whoever you are, we've all pretty much either know somebody or have had the personal experience of not getting paid for the work that we've rendered. Okay. And so I had an experience where I wasn't paid around $32,800. Now, I had an attorney who later told me it was in excess of $140,000. However, what I believed it to be was $32,800. And this roofing company owner seemingly stripped everything away from me that I had worked for at a very vulnerable time in my life. I had about 13 days clean from any alcohol or other drugs or anything like that. And I was trying to get my life in order. And I simply wanted to take a break from the roofing sales, the training of new hires, the sales management position, these types of things. And what happened was when I reached out and said, hey, let me finish managing these projects to fruition. I'll live off of that money for the winter time. There was a commercial project, there was several other residential projects, and I'll live off of that money throughout the winter time and I'll come back in the spring. And the company owner said, F you. Those are my jobs, and stripped them away from me. And in that moment, there was like so much pain. There was so much frustration. There was fear that was like building up inside of me. How am I going to survive? How am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do with my life? And I don't know if any of you guys have had that type of experience where everything seemed hopeless. Everything appeared to just be crumbling in front of me. And what I didn't realize was all of that crumble, all of the brickwork that was falling down at my feet was able to be recycled and reused as a foundation for what was to come next, something bigger than what I could imagine, something greater than what I could imagine. And that turned out to be the roofing broker. And when the roofing broker started, I actually didn't have any business entities registered. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had went to sleep after praying, and I said, God, whatever I'm supposed to do with my life, if that's wash dishes, I'll wash dishes. If that is to serve tables like I did back in college, I'll serve tables, whatever it is that you have for me. And then I threw in a little catch. I said, I am conditioned, however, to earn in a little over 100,000 a year, and that would be nice too. But whatever it is you have for me. And I woke up that night in the middle of the night with this crazy idea. And some of you guys know this story. I had went to a Dale Childress Jr., the master closer class. I had him come in to train the roofing company that I had previously worked for. And he had given us this idea about these sticky notes. And he gave us a lot of different strategies and ideas, making a video from the parking lot, making sure you get 5 touches, that only 85% of people are not people that close the deal on the first day, and only 15% do close the deal on the first day, and all these strategies to, whatever. But I'm a closer. And other than like 14 roofs that I've been on that have had damage, which 6 of which I had brought the homeowners onto the roof, in which case I didn't end up getting these contracts. 3 of those happened in one day. Uh, but I closed the deal, man. That's what I do. I prevent the objection. I was told one time that a good closer overcomes objections and a great closer prevents objections. And I was able to prevent the objections, to process with the homeowner exactly what it was going to look like from beginning to end. And I had the uncanny ability to follow through exactly how I said I was. But there was this thing about these sticky notes that really stood out to me. So I wake up in the middle of the night with this crazy idea, and being in the roofing industry for a while, I had been a part of several social media forums, different roofing groups, different all types of things, marketing strategies, all types of these different things. And I got into a few of those forums on social media and I said, hey, if I was to go out into a neighborhood where I knew there was storm damage and I was to acquire business for your company, what would that be worth to you? And I stayed up till about 4:30 in the morning that evening, and some people said $50, some people said $500, and the general consensus was somewhere around $200. And so I decided to fill out 2 packs of sticky notes, and I had a half a dead Sharpie marker and $13.80 to my name. So I didn't have very much. And I began to fill out these sticky notes. And I actually want to back up a little bit. So I mentioned earlier that I didn't originally have a business entity. When that gentleman kept those jobs from me, I had a couple of jobs in the pipeline that did not have signed contracts, and I was able to get them business through a different company and get paid a percentage commission, and that gave me some money. The roofing company that did that said, I can't pay you as an individual. I actually need to pay you as a business. And I said, well, I don't own a business. I've always just gotten paid to me and cash those checks. So they said, no worries. We're going to go online right now. We're going to register a corporation for you. And although they registered it wrong, they made it a C Corp instead of an S Corp. And those were things I was able to amend later. What happened was they had given me this document to fill out, and the document asked what my position at the company was. And I said, well, what do I write here? And they said, CEO. And I said, CEO. And they said, well, yeah, you own the business. And I wrote down CEO, but something in that moment when that other roofing company owner said to me, write down CEO, completely changed the way that my mind worked. So I ended up with this corporation and I ended up getting paid on those jobs and getting current on my bills. And I ended up praying and asking what it was I should do. And here I am in the middle of the night with this crazy idea about these sticky notes and about generating appointments for roofing contractors. And so I go out into the neighborhoods and I plaster these sticky notes everywhere on all the doors. And I have so many phone calls pouring in before I'm even done hanging 100 of them up. I took 200 out, but I have so many. I mean, the phone's just ringing and ringing and ringing. And I really don't know what to say to the people on the phone. So I end up acquiring a couple of inspections set up for that Saturday, and I stole a little note out of Becca Switzer's book where she said, do you like Target or do you like Starbucks? And she had said something along the lines of, uh, oh, Target, it's like Disney World for adults, right? Or something like that. And so I stole that little line and I told the people that we were going to come out and do the inspection. And as a participant, they qualified for a free Target or Starbucks gift card. and I didn't have the money to purchase the gift cards. So after I scheduled the first couple of appointments, I called the roofing company. I said, "Hey, you're on for this address, this email address, this name, this phone number. You're going to do that on Saturday, right? And I need you to send me $200 for these two appointments. And if they sign a contract, you sign me or send me 200 more." So I would send them my Venmo and they would send me the $200. And then I would hang up, I had hung up the phone, but I would call them back and I would say, "Oh, and by the way, I need you to run by Target. I promised them a $10 Target gift card for you doing the inspection." So that happened. I reinvested my original $13 into more sticky notes and more Sharpie markers, two more Sharpies, five more packs of sticky notes. And the process just began to build. The momentum began to build. The roofing broker began to be fleshed out. And by no means was it perfect. And it really didn't have any definition to it. But in that process, I began to go through over 97. I don't know that I reached 100, but I do remember the count being about 97 roofing companies in the Front Range area, all the way from Loveland, all the way down past Colorado Springs to like Pueblo. I narrowed it down to about 5 companies in the Denver metro area. And I made this decision that I was going to not just set them up with the inspections, but I was going to like do the inspection and then file the claim with the homeowner and meet the adjuster. And then I was going to broker the job to the best fit company for that homeowner's individual needs. And at the time, I didn't have the name The Roofing Broker. A friend of mine in roofing, Dan Dolger from Colorado Exteriors, some of you guys may have saw us out in the mountains doing a cash estimate the other day. Uh, he said to me, "You're kind of like a roof broker or something." And I said, "Oh, I don't like that. How about The Roofing Broker?" And that is where the name came from. And at the time, I honestly could not get the .com for that. It was taken, and somebody wanted thousands of dollars for it, but it wasn't an active website. And so I bought the .org. Somebody actually gave me $20 to put in my bank account to purchase the roofingbroker.org. And it's still active, but it'll take you to my current website. And throughout time, the trademarks happened, and I trademarked the name, and the websites got professionally done later, and I purchased the roofingbroker.com, and things began to flesh out throughout that process. But I was at a roofing company. I was at this company, not Euro Shield, I'm so sorry. Eco Shield. I was at this roofing company called Eco Shield, and they were doing in-house appointments via telemarketing. And what had happened was they actually called me on the phone and said, "Hey, we have these appointment coordinators. They're scheduling appointments, and our guys just aren't converting them. Do you think if we gave you 10 appointments, you could turn them into 10 jobs?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So landed right on my lap, 10 appointments, and I go out and I turn them into 10 jobs, at least 10 claims. A couple of them didn't get covered, unfortunately, but I did turn them into 10 claims, 10 signed contracts, and 10 adjuster appointments. Actually, 12 adjuster appointments because a couple of them didn't get bought. We went through the whole process. We know the story. So while I was coming back in, bringing these contracts in, I like started listening to their call center. And I had a lot of experience in business to business marketing for advertisement. And I was really good at it in my younger years. When I was like 18, I got a job at a company that had like 6 or 7 offices nationally. And I quickly became one of the top producers at this company. They taught me pretty much everything I know about sales and about closing. And wow, man. So I was like listening and I was like, these guys aren't closing deals because these appointments are set up very poorly. So I chatted with the upper management at that company and I asked if I could borrow some information of what systems they were using, where they were sourcing data, and a few other things. And ultimately, we had made a deal that I could do that. And if I was going to schedule appointments for myself, that I would then sell those jobs to that company. So that's what we did. I got one girl and she started setting appointments from home and we hadn't really formatted it yet and she kind of fell off. She had a baby and a newborn and she kind of fell off and out of the blue, this girl Anna P. And for those of you guys that have followed me for a long time, Anna P and I have storm chased Iowa, Minnesota, Little Rock, Arkansas, Texas. We've been all over the place together. And Anna P gives me a call prior to the storm chasing, and she worked at a chapstick factory. Now, I'm just talking about how God brought these people in these situations into my life to offer me something greater than I could possibly imagine in building a foundation from the brokenness of the last situation to build up where we're at today at the roofing broker, like how we got here, how we came about. It's of really no doing of my own other than my genuine willingness to show up on a daily basis and do the next thing in front of me. I mean, it's really as simple as that, just showing up on a daily basis and doing the next thing in front of me. So Anna P gives me a call and she says, "Hey, I've been watching your company. Mind you, I'm about 5 or 6 months in business." And she says, "I really see it growing. I really see all this stuff that's happening. And I prayed and I believe God told me to quit my job at the chapstick factory and to come work for you." And I laughed. I had no work for anyone. I was barely getting by uh, month to month, building the business, reinvesting everything, learning new strategies, applying new systems, asking a lot of questions, still ask a lot of questions. So I tell her, I say, "Well, you better pray again because I don't think that was God that told you to come work for me because I don't have any work." And she said, "Well, I'm positive it was. So I've already put in my 2 weeks notice and I'll be at your house on Monday." Monday comes and Anna shows up to my house. And I think I had just spent like the last $500 or $600 I had towards, maybe it was the last $700 towards like a Grant Cardone 10X package thing to learn marketing. And it was kind of powerful because he had this 90-day challenge if you could build $1 million business in 90 days. And I actually did it. You had to build it from scratch. And I had bought that. And I actually live with Anna P built a $1 million company within 90 days. If I would have had a valuation come in, I would have been right around or maybe just under a million valuation, which typically is whatever you bring in annually for that year or wherever you're at, times that by three is typically what your company's worth. And yeah, so she comes over and we're sitting there and I said, "Why don't we go to Best Buy?" And she says, "Well, you don't have any money. What are we going to Best Buy for?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just have a feeling that you and I should go to Best Buy right now." So we go to Best Buy and we get there and we see these computers with very big screens on sale for $200. They're normally like 400. And I say, "I'll take 3 of those. And I also want to take the one that's an open box." So the guy says, "Okay, no problem." And he goes towards the back to get the computers. And Anna looks at me and she says, "Are you crazy? How are you going to pay for those?" And I said, "Well, I got an idea." So I picked up the phone and I called this contractor that I had met when I was training a company. Like 3 months into my business, I got hired to train a company in Oklahoma to come in and do some sales and to kind of build them up. And they gave me like 7 grand to be there for a month. And that was a huge break for me. Plus, they would buy the jobs from me. So I had met this other contractor while I was down there. And the contractor what did solar also. And so I called him to try to get him a job that was in this gated community. He was from Tulsa, but he did solar, and I did the research and I found the guy. So I call him and I say, "Hey, Jeff, I don't know if you remember me, Eli King here, and I met you when I was in Oklahoma City." He says, "Oh, yeah, yeah, you tried to get me that job, blah, 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 whatever." And I say, "Yeah." I said, "You do remember me." I said, "Well, hey, man, how would you like to get 10 pre-scheduled roofing inspections like your team can be on the roofs tomorrow?" And he goes, "Well, am I guaranteed to get on the roofs?" And I say, I'm walking through Best Buy, mind you. I want you guys to envision this. Here I am walking through Best Buy. I'm on the phone with a guy that I only met one time in my life, and I'm just stepping out on faith that this thing is going to work, with a heart filled with gratitude and enough faith to either be stupid or genius. I don't know. And at the time, I think I had even like talked to Scott Riopel from Interstate Roofing, and I sat down with him at his office for a couple hours, and he said, "Eli, we haven't had hail in 5 years." And he said, "So if you build this company now, they're going to call you crazy. But when it hails, they're going to call you a genius." That's what he told me. And so here I am at this Best Buy, and I'm walking through, and I got this faith of either an idiot or maybe a baby or whatever. And the guy says, "Are we guaranteed to get on the roof?" I said, "Of course you are. It's roofing inspections. That's what you're going to do. It's guaranteed to be in the storm zone." And he goes, "Well, how much?" And at the time, I don't know. I didn't have a price. And I said, "I don't know. How about $1,000?" He said, "Okay, well, how would I pay you?" And I said, "Well, do you got Venmo?" He said, "Yeah." So I sent him my Venmo link, and I go back up, and I come over, and the guy's at the counter, and he's ringing up the computers. And I say, just give me a second. I'm just waiting on something real quick. You can go ahead and let these customers go by. And the attendant, the Best Buy employee, says, "Oh, okay, no problem." So he unrings them up and he lets the next customers go by. And Anna's looking at me like I'm crazy. I said, "Just hang on. Just hang on." So they get out of line. The guy rings the 3 computers back up, and my phone goes cha-ching. And I pull the Venmo card out and I pay for the 3 computers. And I got this picture. I don't know how to really edit and put it into the podcast, but I got this picture of Anna P at Best Buy holding these 3 laptops. And she's smiling from ear to ear. And we leave and we go back to the house and we began to develop a script. And we scheduled all 10 appointments for that guy. And we called a couple other people. They came over. We scheduled all 10 appointments. So I had paid $600 for the computers, and I wrote them checks for the amount of appointments they set, the remaining $400, and I made nothing but the computers. And here we were, the roofing broker. It was real. It was happening. That guy bought more appointments. He then referred me to another company that bought appointments. And we really just began to take off from there. And none of this was easy. It's very difficult to walk into the image of something that technically doesn't exist anywhere but inside your head, inside your heart. And when I was fleshing out the company's mission statement and coming up with the values of what this company stood for, I had a firm belief in my heart of hearts that I had the ability to change the entire roofing industry in a way that was so drastic and so radical that I could bring love and connection and help avoid hating and backbiting, that I could help change the culture of an entire industry, like one appointment at a time, one opportunity at a time. And it sounds crazy, but slowly it's happening. Maybe you got a dream, maybe you're working at a company right now that's not giving you the nurturing that you need. Maybe you're working at a company right now that's not giving you the training that you need, the respect that you deserve. That's okay. That's okay. I've seen a lot of people ask and say, well, how much money does it take to start a roofing company? And I'm not like friends. I've never met like Jen Silver or Silverman. Uh, but I heard she started hers with nothing. Um, I have a multi-million dollar business right now in our fourth year in business, and I started it with nothing. If it's meant to be, then you got to just step out on faith. I just want to encourage you guys to be the change that you want to see in an industry where change is inevitable. It's happening right before our eyes. The way insurance carriers cover claims, the way adjustments happen. We used to go out to adjuster meetings and the guy actually worked for the company and actually cared about the customer or the client. Those days are like gone. We're in a totally different area. The change is inevitable. Are you going to adapt with it? Are you going to grow with it? And are you going to be a part of the change? Because me personally, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and watch people get ripped off and watch homeowners get bad roofs put on. I'm not going to be a part of the disaster, but instead I want to be a part of the solution. We have something beautiful here. We have an opportunity to help so many people along the way. Am I capitalizing on that opportunity? Am I getting out there and making myself available to as many people as possible? Am I moving from a spirit of gratitude? When I knock on a door or schedule an appointment over the phone or my team schedules an appointment and I look, do I think about cashing paychecks from that roof? Or do I come from a position of knowing that a family that does not know the situation or the best means of replacement or the best processes to navigate through the insurance claims process, do I know that there's somebody that needs my help? And then am I willing to offer the help I have with or without financial gain? Am I practicing goodwill, doing the right thing for the right reason? There's nothing wrong with earning money, but there's nothing more satisfying than earning respect. I mean, I truly believe that we together can join forces and we can change the roofing industry. I got something special with these next day appointments we do. Conversion rates like we've never seen in our industry. These are not leads. These are not something that you need to call first. Sure, there's times when homeowners aren't home or they've forgotten the appointment, but these are pre-qualified next day appointments exclusively set for other companies. Now, why as a roofing contractor would I want to help all the companies grow? I want to give back. Throughout my life, I've taken so much from so many different people in so many areas of life. And here I am today with the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the canvassers, in the lives of the roofing company owners, in the lives of the new sales reps, the burnout sales reps, the ones that have went from green to ripe to rotten. There's a saying in the car industry where you go from green to ripe to rotten. And as a business owner, it's impossible to bring somebody from rotten back to ripe or from rotten back to green. But I have the experience of doing a complete turnaround in my life. I have an experience that says that if only I have the willingness and only I can be honest enough with myself and others, and if only I can be open minded enough, then change can occur. So maybe I've lost my way in the roofing industry and I'm trying to pull myself back. It's time to tune in and do things the right way. So we get this opportunity to make an initial touch with the homeowner here at the roofing broker, to represent other people's companies and to make a positive first impression to make the sales process easier. My team enjoys getting messages back saying we went to the 3 inspections you sent us for Monday and we signed 2 or 3 contracts. Wow, man. What a 4 or 5 minute phone call can do to change the trajectory of that new sales guy's life and career. That young kid who was otherwise going to be waiting months and months for a check is suddenly pulling up and there's a scope of work and an ACV check in hand, and suddenly they got a paycheck and some momentum, some confidence built. And this is of no doing of my own. Again, this is through prayer and faith and trusting. This actually comes from just showing up day in and day out, whether I want to or not. Today is a day to be thankful. Today is a day to give back. When I emit thankfulness and gratitude from my inner being, I only begin to see more things to be grateful for and to be thankful for. When I truly, truly feel inside of me that I'm grateful for everything I have, suddenly more becomes available. Let's open up doors we've never opened up before. I don't know if you guys are watching this right now or, maybe later. We're going to be doing a Black Friday sale starting yesterday, which was Wednesday, moving in through Saturday. I think we're going to go till the end of Saturday, so the day after Black Friday. If you're a customer or a roofing company owner and you've been following the roofing broker or watching the Roofing Mastermind podcast, or maybe you're just friends with me on social media and you've thought about getting these appointments, but something's holding you back, right now we're giving $20 off per appointment on a 20 or 25 lead package, $10 off per appointment on a 30 or 35 lead package, balances out the same. We're waiving the sourcing fee. You can literally save $529.99 off of a 20 lead package, or you could save $729.99 off of a 25 lead package. It's like getting 5 appointments for free or 6 appointments for free or something like that. So now's the time to tune in. Reach out to me. My number is 303-908-3193. When I talk about wanting to help your team grow, it's not about me at all. It's about changing the face of the industry, creating opportunities for new sales reps, giving business owners an easy structure to follow, a pathway to success that works. There's a lot of chatter. It's like, spend your money here for SEO, spend your money there for Google ads, better run Facebook ads. We need to target the marketing. Well, let me ask you this. How much more targeted could you possibly be than I geo-fence the storm zone in the exact neighborhoods you want, and I specifically schedule next day appointments for your company and have you on the roofs in the areas you want to work? There's not much better targeting than that. I don't know, guys. I'm Eli King. I'm everyone's favorite roofing contractor. Again, today is Thanksgiving Day. I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for my team. I am grateful for those who believed in me. But most importantly, I'm grateful for the God who answered my prayers and gave me an opportunity to build something greater than myself, and even more so, an opportunity to help you guys do the exact same thing with your companies. Let's affect one another in a positive way. Let's end 2024 with a bang. I got all types of open areas. I'm willing if you're willing. Again, I'm Eli King. I'm everyone's favorite roofing contractor, and we want to help your team grow. If you want to feed your dream, then you have to feed your team, and we have the nutrients to do so, one call at a time.